Greetings to you wherever you are in this world. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. I'll be coming out of the Quran. It's a short one. I'll be dealing with chapter 8, section 10, verses 70 through 75, and it's called The Relations of Muslim State with Others. Now, don't anybody get mad at me. I don't want anybody to send me any comments. I'm not debating religion with anyone. I will not. I'm reading simply where God led me. Literally. I opened it up, the book, so that he could show me what he wanted me to read for my daily lesson for today. So, I'm not going to be debating people on religion and politics. I'm not. I'm going to stick to whatever the word says. I'm not going to debate anybody. I can have my own feelings about stuff. And I want to encourage anybody who has any other comments about the chapters and the verses that I read to feel free to please leave me an explanation as to what they feel like it means, because I'm just studying. I'm doing my daily meditation. And so, I'm just trying to learn, I want to become a more principled person. So I use the Quran and the Bible to so I can build my foundation within here, so I can become a stronger person and be a better person in my future, So for me, those two books, then eventually I'm gonna read some other religious texts and get their perspective and pull them on in. I'll probably work on that for after the first of the year. I'm gonna get another a text. I think I'm gonna get a Buddhist text next. I want to read that. So don't come jumping on me, because I mentioned when I first started the channel that I'm going to be discussing everybody's point of view. I want to hear everybody's point of view. I don't want to just hear just one side. Sometimes it's not just one-sided. It's not. It's important to hear everybody, what they're saying. And most of these two texts support each other. It just picks up where the other one leaves off. That's all. But they go back in both, the Quran goes back and discusses the other religions, because it's the newest one. People allow religion to be a stumbling block. Don't do that. It's sad. It's really sad. But anyway, this is a disclaimer. This is what, when I opened the book up and saw what he wanted, I said, oh God. But then luckily it's only, it's only 6 verses. Thank God. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm not arguing with people on religion. I love God. And I want to hear everybody's point of view, period. That's what this whole channel is about. It's about cultural diversity. And if people aren't ready for that bandwagon, this ain't the place for you then. It's just not. I'm embracing everybody. It's not just one culture. It's multi-cultures on the earth. We got to learn how to get along with each other. It's the 21st century. So that's what this channel is all about, cultural diversity and listening to how the other side feels, about something, and just taking it into consideration. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to prescribe to what, or ascribe to what they're saying or doing. It's just another point of view. Maybe you be enlightened. Maybe you could be like, oh, maybe so they come to you in a way that you never did think about it before, because I really love God a lot. I do. I mean, But I also like the other parts of me too. Remember God was reminding me of. I used to talk to I said I was one of them little small children when I was young that would go and sit for hours and talk to the older people, like that was like old, you know. Some of my neighbors when I was growing up, they was in their 80s and 90s and 70s and 60s and I would go sit around them for hours. And they would just talk to me and tell me all these magnificent things, I had the advantage of listening to people who had, decades of information and life experience that I heard from these people. Some of these people probably just barely came out of slavery. If they weren't, it was their parents, literally. One of the ladies I used to talk to, she was at least in her 80s when I was like just in elementary school and a little kid up to elementary school before she passed over. And I used to go up there and check on her. I loved her so much. I did. And she taught me. All my neighbors watched her. I would disturb all my neighbors. And they talked to me like I was a grown person. Just they called me Shell. But one of my neighbors, she was older lady too, Most of my friends was like decades and decades and decades and decades older than me. 30, I had a few friends my age. I didn't, hang around that many people my age too much. I didn't start doing that till later in my years. I had associations with the children my age when I went to dance school and stuff like that. I was a trained performer from a child, from a child. But, they had to do something because I was so energetic, just jumping around and all that. So, but I bowed out at 20 something. I'm not going to go off into that. That's a whole other I'm not trying to go. But that's also a deep story. That story's deep too. That side of me is very deep. And eventually, that's going to come out eventually. But right now, I just want to do God's work quietly as I can right now. Because eventually, when people find out the real who, because I was hidden. I tried to be quiet and not be out here so I could live quietly, but it's not that. God has other plans for me, I see. So I have to be willing to embrace that because I got a whole bunch of sides to me. I was a prodigy child, an athlete, a prodigy child athlete. And, at the highest level. And, back then. And so, I'm used to this, lights, camera, action stuff, But I bow out of it because I just wanted to live a private, quiet life. That's all. But I see I'm still gonna live a quiet life though. But I'm gonna have to get out here though. I see God wants me to be out here, and so eventually all of that. I don't want to deal with that part of it right now. I don't. But eventually, I'm gonna try to hold off on all of that as long as I can. But for now, the most important thing is that I have decades of experience, doing in the fields that I mentioned in my description. I think I might have. I don't know if I put pharmaceutics. I have pharmaceutics background too. I worked in lots of areas. Doing things. I wore hazmat outfits and things of that sort. I worked in labs where you had to be gowned up and Tyvek and mass and all of that. So I have had a very vast. I don't think I put that in my description. I'll have to go in and edit that. So I've worked in several industries. So I just work. I try hard, you know. But I'm just really thankful to be here. And my thing is that I just want to give people information. It's time for a shift. We're going in the wrong direction, you know. We're spinning out of control. It's like the earth is off balance right now because people's perception is just way far off. It's not, you know, we're in a situation where the thing that should be the correct thing is the wrong thing. That's off balance. That's not, we got to, so I'm willing to be a warrior for God. See, so that's where my talent is coming, is that I'm willing to be a warrior for God against all these bullies and bad guys out here, because there's a lot of them, and I'm not going to let them take advantage of me and get away with it. I refuse to do that. I'm a champion for God. I don't care if I make mistakes or not. We all make mistakes. So what? I ask God forgiveness and I move on. Whether it's embarrassing or not, so what? I'm not going to be manipulated by anyone. You don't do people like that. That's just wrong. And people shouldn't be. And I'm bringing awareness to some stuff so other people don't get manipulated out here. You know? And they don't know what's happening. People in the background just doing way too much. So, I'm getting ready to read this little short chapter. And I don't want anybody trying to jump on me. Now, if you want to leave a comment about giving me an explanation of how you feel, what you think the section is related to, no problem. But I'm not going to debate because I'm not no authority on religion. I'm just studying, you know. So, oh boy, here we go. Because I don't know. I'm not familiar with every single chapter and section. I'm not. But I'm learning. So don't knock me for that. And if I don't pronounce the name correctly, please forgive me for that too. Okay. Section 10, relation of Muslim state with others. Verse 70. That's where I'm starting. Prophet, say to those of the captives who are in your hands, if Allah knows anything good in your hearts, He will give you better than that which has been taken from you, and He will forgive you. And Allah is forgiving, merciful. Okay. Don't let me get too excited too fast. I did that before and got burned alive. Let me just calm down. Calm down. But is it like that on both sides, though? That's all I want to say. Both sides should be working like that. Shouldn't be one-sided deal. People always want to do things one side. Now I talk about that all the time. I talked about that in one of my other videos before we got here. And it's just what's fair is what's fair. It shouldn't matter what the culture is or the race or anything. Is it balanced? That's all I'm saying. And if they intend to be treacherous to thee, so indeed they have been treacherous to Allah before. But He gave you mastery over them, and Allah is knowing wise. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Tit for tat. Dun, dun. Why can't we just get along? Why? I don't understand. People, surely those who believed and fled their homes and struggled hard in Allah's way with their wealth and their lives, and those who gave shelter and help, these are friends these are friends one of another. People, somebody need to hear this somewhere on this earth, and I hope somebody can hear this. I'm with God. I don't care what anybody says on this earth. Because I'm with him, because it's a personal walk. It is. And I believe in him, and he guides me. I like to have fun and party and kick it and all of that. But I also like to be grounded and have morals and be balanced. And live a moral life. I've messed up, of course I have, but I'm on track. I'm not trying to be out there like that. And there should be a balance. These are talking about balance, When stuff is not balanced, it's not balanced then if it's not equal. And those who believed and did not flee, you are not responsible for their protection until they flee. And if they seek help from you in the matter of religion, it is your duty to help them, except against the people between whom and you there is a treaty. And Allah is here what you do. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm not even going to say anything about that. I'm going to just leave that right there. I'm just going to leave that right there. Kinda. We got to be careful with these treaties. Just because it's a treaty, that don't mean it's the right thing. So watch it with that. Watch it with them treaties, okay? It's. But who am I, But this is God talking. And those who disbelieve are friends one of another. If you do it not, there will be persecution in the land and great mischief. Okay, if you don't believe, it's going to be a problem for ya. And those who believed and fled and struggled hard in all else way, and those who gave shelter and help, these are the believers truly. For them is forgiveness and an honorable provision. I'm not going to even try to do that. I'm not going to, because everybody can understand that. I don't need to explain that. Somebody, I hope, needs to hear this somewhere in the world. And those who believed afterwards and fled and struggled hard along with you, they are of you. And relatives are nearer one to another in the ordinance of Allah. Surely Allah is knower of all things. It's talking to me. I'm getting it's saying, please help whoever it is, regardless of the religion, if they believe in God. I'm going to take it that way. That's how I'm going to take it. But watch them treaties. I'm going to leave it there about that. Because I'm going to get off here. Anyway. I'm gonna get off. Bye. I'm done. I hope everybody tries to have a good day. I want to also say, I want to do a moment of silence for those who are going through conflicts again, anywhere on this world, and it's not just overseas. It's not just in the Middle East. It's all over the world. Here in the United States, even. in these some cities. It's a lot going on, people. It's war over here too. They're not gonna call it that, but it's a lot going on. But I hope that you can just smile this day anyway, and reach one person at a time. One person at a time. One person at a time. Okay?